Hey everybody, I hope you are doing well today. Do you ever ask yourself why English learning feels complicated when everyone says it's easy? And why do people keep telling you to buy more books, more courses, and more material? In this video, you'll learn the truth. English fluency comes from simple habits, not expensive stuff.
Learning English is not just about grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation. It is about shaping the way you think, the way you see the world, and the way you see yourself. Many people begin this journey with excitement, but somewhere along the way, fear takes control. Fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding wrong, fear of being judged. But the truth is simple. An English learner is not someone who knows perfect English. An English learner is someone who refuses to give up. This story is about the mindset that transforms a confused beginner into a confident speaker. It is about the silent battles no textbook talks about. It is about accepting your imperfections and growing with them. And it is about understanding that English is not a test you pass. It is a journey you live. At the start, English learning feels like walking into a crowded room where everyone already knows each other. The words talk to each other, the rules dance with each other, and you stand at the door wondering where you fit in. You hear people speak fluently, and instead of feeling inspired, you feel small. You compare. You question yourself. You wonder if you started too late or if you were just not talented enough.
But the truth is, talent is not the reason people become fluent. Mindset is.
The English learning mindset begins when you stop asking, "Why am I not good enough?" and start asking, "How can I grow today?" Growth does not come from perfection. It comes from practice. It comes from falling, rising, and moving again. Every new word is a small victory. Every sentence you try to build is a brave step. Every mistake you make is a lesson in disguise. At first, learning English feels slow, almost painfully slow. You read a sentence, understand only half, and feel lost. You watch a video and catch just a few words. You try to speak, but the words get stuck before they reach your lips. It feels embarrassing. It feels frustrating. But this is the part nobody warns you about. Progress feels invisible in the beginning. But invisible progress is still progress. Just like how plants grow under the soil before they break the surface, your English grows quietly inside you. Every time you listen, read, or think in English, even if you do not understand everything, you are growing. You are building the foundation. You are shaping your English mind.
The turning point comes the day you realize that you do not need to translate every word. You do not need to memorize everything perfectly. You simply need to connect with the language. Once you stop forcing English to be a subject and let it become a skill, the journey becomes lighter. You start learning naturally. You start enjoying the process. You start noticing small wins. Understanding a joke in English, catching a phrase in a movie, forming a reply without preparing it for 10 minutes. These moments may seem small, but they are proof that something inside you is changing. Still, the journey is not always easy. Some days you feel unstoppable, and some days you feel like English is slipping away from you. You learn new words and forget them the next day. You try grammar structures and mix them up. You read articles but struggle to explain them. These moments can make you doubt yourself. But doubt is a part of growth. Every learner, even the ones who seem fluent, felt this struggle. Nobody became confident without facing confusion. The English learning mindset is built on patience, not passive patience, but active patience. Patience that says, I know this is hard, but I also know I can get better. English rewards those who practice consistently, not those who rush for perfection. Slow learning is still learning. As long as you move, you grow. And then there is the fear of speaking, the fear of sounding wrong, the fear of people laughing, judging, or misunderstanding. But here's a truth that many learners discover late. People do not focus on how perfect your English is. They focus on what you are trying to say. Communication matters more than correctness. You can have strong grammar but no courage, and English will still feel impossible. But if you have courage, even broken English becomes powerful.
When you stop thinking, what if I make a mistake? And start thinking, what if this mistake makes me better? Everything changes. Mistakes stop being threats and become teachers. Every slip, every wrong tense, every missing article becomes a part of your growth. English was never meant to be perfect. Languages were created for expression, not for punishment. There comes a day in every learner's journey when English starts to feel like a friend instead of a challenge. You begin noticing beauty in words, rhythm in sentences, and confidence in your voice. You listen to English songs and feel the emotion behind the lyrics. You read quotes that stay in your mind. You speak without overthinking. You write without fear. You finally understand that English is not something you chase, it is something you grow into. But mindset does more than make you confident. It makes you unstoppable. When you have the right mindset, you treat English like a daily companion. You learn from everything around you. A signboard teaches you context. A movie teaches you tone. A conversation teaches you rhythm. A mistake teaches you awareness. Learning becomes natural and improvement becomes continuous. The English learning mindset also teaches you acceptance, accepting that you will never know every word, not even in your native language, accepting that learning has no finish line, accepting that progress sometimes hides behind small, daily actions. And acceptance brings freedom. Freedom to enjoy the process, freedom to express yourself without fear, freedom to grow at your own pace. Over time, you begin to see English differently. You realize it is not a mountain you must climb in one day. It is a road you walk, step by step. Some steps are big, some are small. Some are easy, some are heavy. But as long as you keep walking, you reach places you once thought were impossible. You start noticing changes inside yourself. You feel more confident, not just in English, but in life. You talk more openly. You listen more deeply. You understand more perspectives. English becomes not only a language you learn, but a lens through which you grow. It becomes a tool that helps you connect with people, understand their cultures, and see the world in new colors. This mindset expands your mind, widens your possibilities, and strengthens your identity. Every language learner learns this truth eventually. The real journey is not about English. It is about you. It is about who you become while learning. You become patient, disciplined, brave, curious, open-minded, and independent. The mindset you build while learning English becomes the mindset you use to face life. English becomes a mirror that reflects your effort, your courage, your persistence, and your growth. You realize that every lesson you learn in English applies to life too. When you fall, get up. When you forget, try again. When you feel shy, speak anyway. When you fail, learn from it. When you doubt yourself, believe a little more. Your dreams become clearer, your voice becomes louder, and your confidence becomes stronger.
English opens doors not just because it is a global language, but because it teaches you how to overcome fear. Every time you speak, even with mistakes, you step beyond your limits. You become someone who is not afraid to try. And the most beautiful part? You never stop learning. Even fluent speakers are learners. Even teachers are learners. Even experts make mistakes. The difference is, they do not let mistakes stop them. They keep growing. And so do you. With the English learning mindset, you begin to understand one of the biggest truths. Fluency is not a moment, it is a mindset. It is not something you gain overnight. It is something you build every day. It is not about knowing everything. It is about being ready to learn anything. You realize that English is not a race. It is a relationship. A long-term, meaningful relationship with a language that evolves as you evolved. The more you learn, the more confident you become. The more you practice, the more natural it feels. The more you engage, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the more you realize how far you have come. Looking back, you see a version of yourself who was scared, confused, and insecure, but brave enough to try. And you feel proud, not because your English is perfect, but because you didn't give up. You accept that growth is not always visible. Sometimes you improve silently. You learn new words without noticing. You understand sentences you couldn't understand before. You speak faster. You worry less. You express more. These small moments show that your mindset is working, even on the days when you feel stuck. You also learn that English is not a burden. It is an opportunity. It gives you access to knowledge, people, cultures, stories, and ideas. It helps you build your future. It helps you shape your identity. It gives you a voice that can travel beyond borders. And with the right mindset, that voice becomes powerful. The English learning mindset teaches you balance. You learn to take breaks when you need them. You learn that rest is part of progress. You learn not to compare yourself with others because everyone grows at their own pace. You learn to celebrate your wins, even the small ones. And you learn to enjoy the journey instead of rushing to the destination. Every day you practice, you become a better version of yourself. Every day you speak, you challenge your fears. Every day you learn, you strengthen your mind. And every day you keep going, you prove that you are capable of more than you thought. At some point you notice something interesting. English begins to feel like a natural part of your life. You no longer translate everything in your head. You think in English sometimes without forcing it. You express ideas you once thought were too difficult. You understand jokes, emotions, and deeper meanings. You feel connected to a world bigger than your own. This is when you realize that the English learning mindset is not just about learning English, it's about believing in yourself. It's about choosing growth over fear, courage over shame, effort over excuses, and consistency over perfection. It's about building a mind that is open, resilient, confident, and strong. And this mindset stays with you forever. Even when you face new challenges in life, you remember how you learned English. You remember how slow it was at first. You remember the mistakes. You remember the frustration. But you also remember the breakthroughs, the small wins, the moments of clarity, and the joy of understanding something new. This memory becomes your strength. It reminds you that any skill, any dream, any challenge can be overcome with the right mindset. In the end, the English learning mindset is not about speaking perfect English. It's about becoming someone who never stops growing. Someone who knows that mistakes are not failures, but stepping stones. Someone who understands that progress takes time. Someone who believes that every day brings a new chance to improve. English becomes more than a language. It becomes a symbol of your journey. A journey filled with courage, patience, growth, and acceptance. A journey that teaches you to trust yourself. A journey that shows you how powerful you truly are. And the most empowering truth of all is this: you do not need to be perfect to be great. You just need to keep going. English is not testing you. English is growing with you. This is the mindset that makes all the difference. This is the mindset that turns learners into communicators, beginners into believers, and dreamers into achievers. This is the English learning mindset, the mindset that turns your voice into your power.
And once you have it, you will never lose it.